Chris, raise your hand. PR.
Chris, what is the status of Danny Santana, please, sir?
So we're probably going to keep him out for the next couple of days. He's available to pinch hit and run. I'm trying to keep him out of starting. Obviously, he's not going to play in the outfield. He's probably not going to throw at all for the next couple of days. I don't know how long he's not going to throw for. Maybe a week or so. We're just going to take it day by day from now. See how he feels. He said he feels pretty good, but we're still going to be careful with it. I don't want anything to come from overusage right now.
What is the nature of the injury?
I think it's like forearm tightness down around the elbow, so that's why it's a little bit concerning.
Well, did this impact his offense at all during summer camp or the early part of the season?
He says it didn't. I just worry right-handed because that's kind of like the follow-through. It's kind of like similar to a throwing motion, and that's where he feels it when he throws. Hitting left-handed shouldn't be an issue, so that's why we're kind of keeping him available as a left-handed hitter, but not right-handed.
Next question, please. Levi.
Just to get some clarification on that, I mean, if he's going to be ill for about a week, has he undergone any MRIs or are you just sort of feeling it out at this point?
I think we're just kind of feeling it out, but we might do that just to get some more clarification on what the injury is. So I'm sure JD or somebody will have more in a day or two or sometime today maybe.
Okay. All right. Thanks.
Next question, John. John, go ahead with your question. Sorry.
Okay, no problem. Woody, Jordan Lyles tonight, obviously you got him in and he looked great on Tuesday, but he didn't get to do as much during, the shutdown period as a lot of the guys did. Is there any concern about his length, or do you have to monitor that more closely than you otherwise would tonight?
I think so. I think it'd be responsible for us to do that. I don't think I'm going to set a limit on it. Probably he went, 87 pitches. So somewhere around 80, 90 pitches, probably max, depending on how he looks. But if I don't like what I see or, we start to see stuff decline earlier than that, then maybe we'll, make the move to kind of get him out of there quicker. But yeah, just definitely something I feel like we need to be responsible with, just keeping a close eye.
That said, he really did look good on Tuesday and even at the end there in camp, didn't he?
Yeah, no, he did. And one thing, he obviously said it to us as well. Early on, he was just kind of making sure he, had his legs under him, had his arm, kind of easing it in, not kind of trying to rush. To his credit, even when we were playing inter-squad games, he wasn't trying to max out, making sure his arm was going to be healthy. So once he did kind of step on the gas, you could see why, the success he had last year. And you started to see that. You started to see the sharpness of the breaking ball, the fastball getting by guys, foul balls instead of, squaring them up. So definitely the Jordan Lyles that we saw the last couple outings, 2 or 3, were what we expected when we signed him.
You've now had a couple of days in your own little road bubble there with, hotel plus ballpark plus hotel. How has it been going in that regard? And from what you can gather from the guys?
Seems to be fine. I think I do trust our guys. We've heard enough from the Marlins cases and other teams, maybe that to scare us off a little bit. So I think our guys are pretty well aware that they're not doing much. They're not trying to sneak out or do anything like that. I find it fine, honestly. If it's 2 months that we just have to kind of stay in our hotel room and come to the ballpark, listen, I mean, you got Netflix and you got other things you can do. I brought my putter with me. Like there's things that we can do inside the room that don't force us outside. So I think our guys are fine, but we just got to, like I said, from day one, like we just got to stick to it.
And last thing for you, Woody, from me, the Heineman brother, matchup today. It's a special thing for any brother combo like this. It'll be fun to watch that, won't it?
Yeah, especially when one's a catcher, because they're both going to be in the same vicinity, when Scotty gets his at bat today. It's kind of a dream come true. I don't have a brother, but I can only imagine what that would be like to have 2 brothers. I coached the Seager brothers, and to see them kind of have to go through that when they play against each other, it's got to be a special moment, man. I mean, you grow up together, you're playing wiffle ball in the backyard, you're just messing around the whole time as baseball players, and you see each other kind of grow up and become both major leaguers. And, fortunately, obviously they're both starting today, which is makes it even more special. Hopefully our guy dominates the other, but I talked to Scotty and he's pretty pumped about it.
Awesome. Thanks, Woody.
Okay, who else for Woody? Alex.
Woody, did you, with that Heineman duo going today, did you at all within contact with Gabe Kepler to try to at least make it happen once this weekend, or is it just sheer coincidence?
I think it's just sheer coincidence. The only thing we did set up was the pregame. So, with Heineman's with Scotty's brother being a catcher, it makes it a little difficult to take the lineup cards out. We don't take lineup cards out anymore. It's more just to confirm that our lineup's right. But I talked to Cap about that, and I think we're still going to do it. It's just Scotty's brother is going to have to come out early to the dugout. Because he obviously is catching, he has to warm up the starting pitcher. So I think they're going to make it happen. So we may get some photo opportunity with the umpires in that pregame meeting.
Thank you.
What else? Other questions? Rick?
Yeah, Woody, since you brought up Gabe Kepler, I was just kind of curious your thoughts. He takes this merry old time announcing who's pitching, and I know they do that in Japan, kind of to deceive people. Just your thought about that, and what do you think? You think that might be something we see more of?
I've always wondered to see if anybody would kind of push the limits on that. He's been fine with us. We've gotten we know who's starting yesterday early, and we knew today early, so it was no issues with us. And I had heard that from the past, but it's kind of an unwritten rule. So I don't know if somebody's going to kind of test the waters there to see if it's going to make anybody upset on the other side if they wait till the last second. I don't think anybody's going to take it to the extreme where you have two guys warming up, one right, one left, and snap of the finger, okay, it's the lefty instead of the righty. I don't think we're going to see that. But I did witness, the one pitch or one batter in the playoffs against us in LA. The Milwaukee Brewers did that to us with Wade Miley, threw to one batter, and then they brought in, a right-handed pitcher after that. So, listen, I said, I think these days it's like whatever advantage you can gain. That's kind of the landscape of the game now. So I wouldn't be surprised if somebody does try it.
Cool. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Other questions, Levi?
This is, again, just a short follow-up, but with the new 3-batter minimum, would that even be legal with the starter now, or the starters have to go 3 batters also?
Yeah, you'd have to throw 3 batters, so it kind of negates that. But, okay. I mean, listen, we've been using the opener now for a few years, so it's basically the same thing.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Other questions? Let's go to Sam.
Curious just kind of what your plans are with Colby for tomorrow in terms of pitch count and, kind of what you kind of hope to get from him.
I'm not expecting much more than, depends on 60, 70 pitches. I mean, maybe more. It depends. I mean, that would probably be what I'm looking at, 3 or 4 innings, tops, I'm guessing. If he happens to have a low pitch count or he's throwing the ball really well, once he gets up past 50, we're going to keep really, really close eye on him and just see how the stuff looks and, talk to our catchers and use our eyeballs to kind of gauge the situation. But I don't see him going any more than 80.
And moving forward, I assume you want to get him on full kind of 100, 110 pitches, and what you kind of hope to see from him this season.
Oh, Colby?
Yeah.
At some point. I mean, we're not worried about that right now. One thing, we've stressed to him and, kind of like if Joe was in that same role, was just go as hard as you can for as long as you can. Let's not worry about, how many pitches you're going to get up to, or let's just, try to get through every inning as hard as you can. If that means your pitch count is going to be a little lower because you're going to run out of gas, that's fine. That's better than trying to, save a little bit in the beginning and risk giving up some runs or getting hit because, we have a deep bullpen right now. Until we have to, change the roster size, we have a lot of arms. So I'm not worried about, how far they go, how long they go. I just want to make sure it's quality.
Janie, you have a question?
Yes, please. Thanks, John. Hi, Chris. Nice to see you.
Good to see you too.
Joe Madden was saying the other day, Chris, the next road trip the Angels take? They're going to get a big room for players so they can gather safely after night games. Guys like to maybe wind down a little bit, and maybe another room for coaches, just to deter guys from going out and giving them that some kind of opportunity to play video games or have a beer or have some food together. The Giants are doing sort of a courtyard if their hotel allows it. Are the Rangers doing some things like that, or are you starting to take even more steps to, keep guys together and not leave the hotel?
Yeah, I think we have our own room. We have a ballroom, I guess you call it, with a separate room on the side, basically for like meetings and stuff. But that's basically what we have. I think we have a hospitality suite upstairs. Just to make sure that guys can, have a little bit release. The one thing we don't want is for guys to go room to room. We've heard a lot of stories of that's how a lot of, the sharing food and, make sure even if they do go up to the room, to hospitality suite or whatever together, making sure they're distancing, if they're not in between drinks, keeping the mask on, taking precautionary measures, because what we're seeing now, I feel like we're really close to possibly shutting down if there's another outbreak somewhere. So we're trying to be as preventative as we can for that to happen.
Thanks, Chris.
Thanks, Jay.
A couple more. Let's go to Jeff, and then we'll take Chris. Go ahead, Jeff.
Hey, and Chris, yeah, you know where your team is right now with the injuries and the lack of offense. And what's the state of the team, especially with COVID now? Are you guys fragile? I mean, how would you describe things right now?
No, I don't think we're fragile at all. I think, we obviously have a pretty competitive group. They're still together. To Janie's point, it hurts my heart to just not be able to, have the team together as much as possible, because that's kind of what gets you through these tough times. But, our leadership and our staff has been great. No, I don't think we're fragile at all. I just think we just want better results. I think we're all just a little frustrated because we felt like we should be, maybe 4-2 instead of 2-4. But that's baseball. So, we got to get through it. We've got to be resilient. We got to keep fighting. And that's got to be the motto for this team, because it's a tough year, and it's not going to get any easier.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, Chris, last question from Wood. We'll take Chris and then TR. These will be the last two. Go ahead, Chris.
Just really quick. You had the starting rotation take a hit, and then you have, your closer go down. Jonathan Hernandez, we asked a lot about him, early on. Talked about him being versatile, being flexible. What do you see him kind of supplementing the rotation at one point, or you kind of still see him in more of a late inning role?
I would probably stick with him in the late inning role, just because of the power stuff. We need that. His stuff is elite. So I know in the past he's started, and he can still throw multiple innings. So if we need to throw him in the 7th and 8th to set up the 9th, we could still do that. And we think about that a lot later in the games. So he could potentially close games. He could pitch the 8th. He could pitch the 7th, depending on where, we feel he fits best. And, typically at the top of the lineup, and we're trying to, keep that top of the lineup from building any momentum. If that's the 7th inning, probably pitch him then, honestly, to like I said, squash any kind of momentum they may be gaining. But I would assume he'd probably stay in the later in the bullpen.
Just a really quick follow-up. So, like, if example like tomorrow, if Colby Allard goes, 4 innings, and you need some help bridging into the later innings, Jonathan's not really an option until the 7th, 8th, or possibly the 9th inning.
I can't confirm that, because if that's where I feel like the game is going to be won or lost, then absolutely I might pitch him in the 6th inning. I don't think I'd go as soon as the 5th, but if top of their lineup is in the 6th inning and we're a tie game and I just don't like where things are at, yeah, I could bring him in for the 6th and the 7th, just to, like I said, give our offense a chance, or obviously our pitching staff the best chance to get zeros, and then our offense to have a couple innings to score some runs. So the good thing is he is versatile, and I don't think he minds pitching anywhere. But as it stands right now, I'd probably wait to use him a little bit later in the game.
All right. Thank you very much.
Last one, TR.
Have you discussed the IL for Danny Santana?
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely been brought up. Once we, get confirmation on the extent of it exactly, then we'll discuss that. But as of right now, he's still valuable. Obviously, left-handed hitter off the bench, and he has speed. The only thing it hurts us is that he can't play defense. So it definitely has been brought up, but I don't think we're ready to make that decision just yet. This gave me a little smile. Here's Scotty talk.
Okay, first question, please. TR.
Chris, how tough was that to go through that with that many free passes and ended up scoring all those runs off of them?
Yeah, it's not. We didn't play real good today. Wasn't our best game. It's frustrating when you have 11 walks and a hit by pitch. I think it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, free passes to start an inning as well. Some we talk about. Obviously, it's we're going to have to push that one aside and move on because we're not going to win too many games when you walk that many guys.
Was Lyles having trouble with his curveball tonight?
Yeah, it seemed like it. That's when he doesn't have that pitch. That's obviously when you're a primarily a fastball curveball. He obviously has other pitches as well, but those are his bread and butter. And when you can't land your curveball, it makes it pretty difficult. And this team right here hasn't chased really at all. You got to throw it in the zone or just out of the zone. You can't really chase. They don't chase any of the bounce pitches. So he was having a tough time landing it, and put himself in tough spots the whole night.
Next question, Jeff.
Hey, what's the status of Rougned Odor?
So Rugi came out. I thought it was actually going to be worse. We're hoping, I don't know if we dodged a bullet or not, but it was kind of in the oblique area. It's kind of on the back side of his oblique. We'll see. He said it's just tight for right now. He did some rotational stuff to test it and seemed to be better than we anticipated. I don't know if he'll be a DL, but I think we dodged a bullet as far as missing some significant time, which I was pretty happy about because when he came out, I wasn't too optimistic.
What? So he doesn't need an MRI or anything like that?
I don't think so. I think we're trying to stay away from that. I think we may have avoided that. So he passed a lot of the tests. We got to wait till tomorrow to see if he comes in sore. If he doesn't, he could still do some rotational stuff. Then maybe he'll be okay.
Okay, thanks.
Other questions? John Radigan.
As tough as most of this night was, Woody, from the lineup card thing all the way to the home run in the ninth inning, it had to be fun to share that with Scott Heineman a little bit.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's, I was just listening to him talk in the interview, and it brought a smile to my face on the day that I don't really have a whole lot to smile about. So, Scotty brings a ton of energy. I know his brother does as well on the other side. So, what we shared today or what we got to witness with them, was obviously their whole family was watching, and it's a pretty special moment for them. But like Scotty said, the dad only remembers the W. So we got to get a W for Scotty tomorrow.
Yeah. Levi?
Yeah, I mean, this may be nothing, but just watching on the broadcast in the seventh inning when Joey Gallo made a throw home, the camera caught him. It looked like he was kind of shaking his arm a little bit. Was there anything to that, or just?
No, there was nothing there. As far as I know, he didn't say anything to me about it. The only thing I worried about, coming into this series was we've been indoors the whole time, and come out in some cold weather. I was worried a little bit about some muscle issues or just overall soreness, fatigue. Being on the road and then being in this cold weather and then on grass too. So we're obviously keeping an eye on a lot of our players right now.
Okay, all right, thanks, man.
One or two more. Any other questions, Alex?
Woody, so talking with Nick Solak back on Sunday and Luis Ortiz on Wednesday, they were saying as far as the offense getting close, and it showed that way during Wednesday's game, but it seems like the team is reverting back to their offensive woes from last week, or is that just maybe things are not going their way?
Yeah, I don't think anything's going our way right now. I think early on we didn't play real good defense. I thought we were pitching pretty well. Today we obviously didn't, but our offense, just not consistent. And I think that's the biggest thing. It's, the grinding of the at-bats. Sometimes it seems a little bit too easy at times. So, we got to obviously buckle down. We got a long way to go, but not as long as we usually have, obviously in the 162-game season. So we got to figure things out, and we got to get tough, man, because this is we knew it wasn't going to be easy, but right now we're making it a lot harder on ourselves. So we need to, change course a little bit. Otherwise, we're going to have a long year.